everybody, welcome back to the Cantina. My name is Mike Federer, and I'm coming to you from my home bar. Today, I want to show you one of my favorite sippers. You know, this is called the Negroni, and it's a very classic cocktail, and the star of the show is Campari. Now, if you've never had Campari, it is a very, very bitter liqueur. And when I say bitter, think of burnt orange peels. If you've ever eaten an orange peel or obviously tasted one by mistake, they are very bitter. And I think it causes a lot of people to turn away from it, from a bad experience or, whatever. But this cocktail in particular, I can remember doing some research on it. And it's very popular, and it's known as the bartender's drink, if you will. Bartenders and chefs alike prefer to have this particular cocktail after a shift of work, probably because, or partially, I would suppose that, if you're closing down a bar and it's, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, you just want to wind down. Maybe you just want to sit down with something that's, going to do the trick for you right away and just get you relaxed. This drink is all booze. And so, like I said, it features Campari, which is a bitter liqueur. Also known as an aperitif. Now, an aperitif meaning that this is a cocktail good before a meal, before a big meal. It gets the digestive juices flowing, things of that nature. But for me, it's a good cocktail anytime. I love this drink. Of course, the Campari. I'm going to use Beefeater gin today. Beefeater is a great gin at a great cost, or a great price, I should say. It's like $20 a bottle, 25 at the most. But it's a great quality gin for the money. And then I'm going to be using Dolan sweet vermouth today, and it's been a little difficult to find. I've been using other things like a Gallo makes an inexpensive sweet vermouth, and then I tried a Martini and Rossi brand of their sweet vermouth, and that can, as you might imagine, completely change the whole flavor of the cocktail. So far, I tried the Gallo first, and I liked it. It was good, good cocktail. And then I ran out of that, and I tried the Martini and Rossi, and that has a very spice type flavor. As a matter of fact, it reminded me of oregano. And I don't know about you, I love oregano, but not so much in my cocktail. It kind of turned me off. And then I had a hard time finding Dolan, but I actually found it on a travel baseball trip with my son, and we went to a grocery store to pick up some supplies, and I saw this, I picked it up. And after having it with the Negroni, with the cocktail, it is more of a neutral flavor, which is really, really good. And it allows you to taste more of everything, every ingredient in the cocktail, rather than overpowering it with an oregano taste per se. But no, it's been very good. So it's an easy cocktail to make. Like I said, very popular. But the biggest thing about this cocktail is that, as I mentioned, the Campari is very, very bitter. And I can remember the first time I tried this after doing research, and the first sip I had tasted like refried ass. It sucked. And I told myself, and I take notes on all the cocktails that I make that I try, and the first note that I made was, I can live without this. But obviously after the first sip, I wasn't going to throw it away. So I continued to sip on it, and oddly enough, after the third, fourth, fifth sip, the taste started to change. I think my taste buds just started to get accustomed to the bitterness, and by the time I was done with it, I loved it. And now Campari is the one thing, the one liquor that I have a backup bottle of, and it always seems to run out the quickest for some reason. But it's a drink that you're going to hate initially. It's going to taste like shit, I'm telling you. It's going to taste like crap. But just give it a chance. Take the challenge. Take the Pepsi challenge and see if you can get through one of these. And if you can, I'm pretty much guarantee you're going to love it. It's an acquired taste, but it doesn't take long to acquire. And then you start looking for other cocktails that feature Campari in it as well. Interesting note about Campari while we're on the subject. Originally, when this product was made in Italy, they used to use ground beetles to give it its red color. I'm happy to tell you they no longer do that. So that's, I guess, a good thing. But easy cocktail to make, so let's get started. Basically, what we're going to do is just use 1 ounce of each of the Campari, the gin, and the sweet vermouth. It doesn't get any easier than that. So we'll start with the sweet vermouth. 1 ounce. Like so. And then we'll go 1 ounce of the beef eater. Beautiful. And then 1 ounce of the star of the show. God, I love that stuff. 1 ounce Campari. Now, obviously, I'm using a mixing glass made specifically for mixing cocktails. You don't have to, you can mix it in anything you want. You don't have to get all fancy. So we're just going to add ice. Now I'm using my hands. Obviously, this is my cocktail. If it was for guests, I would not be using my hands. So quite a bit of ice. We want this to chill down and dilute. So obviously we're using mixing ice, not the clear ice from a previous video. Grab my bar spoon, and we're gonna mix this up. And as you can see, I'm holding the side of the glass, not because I need to for stability, but because we want to make sure that the cocktail is chilled. So usually it's done when the side of the glass becomes frosty and cold. So I'm going to stir this for a few minutes, and not a few minutes, for, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds or so, up to a minute. Usually when the ice starts to fall is when the dilation is correct, but I'm going to test it here as well. Maybe just about, it's getting cold. Maybe just about another 30 seconds or so. Get that, buddy. Buddy's our boxer. He's eating a Negroni ice cube off the floor. Damn dog. Oh yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Okay, so from now, or for now, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take my Hawthorne strainer and over clear ice in a chilled glass from the freezer. I'm just going to pour the cocktail. Now, a lot of people will use an orange wedge, but I prefer to just do an orange twist. So we'll get an orange peel right off the top of the orange here, nice and long. And then what we're going to do is express the oils from the orange rind. We're just going to take rind out, or the orange part out, not the pith. And let's drop that for Buddy too. Not this side. This side. We're just going to bend it kind of a little bit backwards in half, and you'll see the oil start to come out of it, and it's really, really cool to see it come out on top of the cocktail as well, and it obviously adds that orange aroma and orange flavor as soon as you bring it to your nose. And then we'll take the peel and kind of wipe the outside of the glass. Now, a lot of people think that's for taste, but in reality, what that does is kind of get it on your hands so that when you do take a drink of the cocktail, or when you're doing anything else talking, that aroma is always with you. So that's the idea behind rubbing the glass. And there you have it, the Negroni. Like I said, one of my favorite sippers. I love this drink. You've got to try it. You've got to try it. You've got to get through the first couple of sips. But after that, it's going to be just... oh, it's so good. It's so good. And like I said, with the Dolan, sweet vermouth, it doesn't hide anything, it doesn't mask anything, it doesn't overpower anything. You can taste everything. You can taste the Campari, again, which is the star of the show. It's bitter, but once you acquire that taste, there's no turning back. The gin, everything is prevalent here. Again, one of my favorite sippers for when, before dinner, or like I said, after dinner. Anytime for me is great, especially if I'm sitting out on our patio up on our deck. It's just a great sipper. I like sippers like this at certain times. I don't want to just run back and forth for a beer every few minutes. It's just something I can sit down and relax and just enjoy you know, my surroundings, my family, outside when it's nice. So again, give it a shot. Give it a big Cub Scout try. Just try it. Make sure that you try to get at least halfway through it. And if you don't change your mind, I'll be surprised. Again, it's going to taste like crap to begin with, but give it a shot. Cheers.